The next morning, a curious bull from the farm found a hole in the wall of his field. Clambering over, he found lots of grass on the overgrown trackbed, and beckoned to the rest to follow. One by one, the herd left their field and made their way down the track towards the entrance to the tunnel. The bull stopped at the gaping mouth of the tunnel and peered in. Meanwhile, Herbert was having a great run. The sun was shining, birds were singing, the bull was in the tunnel. The bull was in the tunnel? Herbert slowed to a halt and was frozen still, absolutely petrified. Not far from the tunnel, Nigel was simmering in the yard. He'd arranged the trucks and coaches earlier than ever and was taking a well-earned break when the foreman came over to see him. "Nigel, I need you to take the cattle truck and brake van along the branch line to the tunnel," he said. "There's a stray herd of cows of this farmer's on the line, and it's holding Herbert's train up." "Right," said Nigel, blowing off steam. "I'm on my way." And with that he puffed over the points to where the small train was waiting for him, guard, farmer, and all. Herbert was waiting in the tunnel, and refusing to come out. He had had a nasty accident with a bull at his last yard, and since then had been very afraid of cattle in general. "I'm not coming out," he muttered to his driver. "I can't stand cows, you no." "All right, Herbert," his driver said kindly. "The yard's sending the farmer down to take them away." The bull turned to look back at Herbert. Herbert gulped. "Moo," said the bull mournfully. He just wanted some more grass to eat. There was no grass anywhere on this strange gravel track, and what was more, a strange-looking brown thing was approaching him. It looked to the bull like another, larger cow, and he moved closer to it, interested. The brown cow was Nigel's brake van, and he stopped not far from the cow in the tunnel. The farmer climbed out of the brake van, whispered sweet nothings to his prize bull, and led him and the herd back down the other track towards the field. Herbert watched, mesmerised, as Nigel smiled knowingly. Herbert started again and whistled his thanks. Nigel could only laugh as the V2 checked the level crossing for signs of cows. That evening, in the shed, Herbert was telling anyone who'd listen that Nigel had saved his life. Sir Ralph had returned and looked bored witless. He'd spent a difficult few weeks at the works while they tinkered with his wheels and motion, and this was not helping his already bad mood. So, raising steam and whistling loudly, he puffed away. "I have to go and do some trial runs, you know. A few weeks in the works does make an engine stiff," was his excuse. Herbert kept talking anyway, and Alan, still tired from his runs that day, was finding it difficult to keep up with the ever-evolving story. "I was surrounded by a herd of bulls, with no way through," Herbert was telling him. "But Nigel swooped in with his little train and scared them away. If it hadn't been for Nigel..." Alan looked at Nigel questioningly, and Nigel simply winked back at him. Alan understood instantly and laughed. The message was simple. Actions speak louder than words, and it only takes Herbert to come up with some cock and bull story.